Maire, thank you again, as usual, with your busy schedule, but you're always trying to make time for ethnic media, and we are one of them. But first thing first, our condolences to the great and late Congress Charles Longer, who was a good man.
Yes,
And,
he was.
I just want to take the time to say sorry for the loss.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you. You're right. He was a great leader, and we're gonna all miss him. But it's a circle of life.
Mr. Mayor, we're going to go with few questions. We know that we're going to have you again, another interview where we're going to talk about the campaign because everybody's talking about it. The question now is, what is your administration, Mr. Mayor, is doing to ensure that immigrant children continue to have access to our school? And are you increasing the after-school program that these young people could participate in?
Yeah, that is crucial for us. And as you know, not only dealing with the migrants and asylum seekers that have come in, that we've handled 40,000 children we handled and gave assistance to. Not only that, we were able at a time to give summer youth employment, but all the services. These children have not been denied throughout
Yes.
the time that we've been here, and we're going to continue to do that. That's the role, and that's our responsibility as a city.
And like I said, are we making sure, of course, that the after-school program will increase because that's the only way they can avoid to be in the street?
So true, and they are very much going to have access to our after-school programs. We're going to make sure that they're in a safe space, and you're right, that is crucial for our young people to have access to the after-school programs, and they will.
Very good. This second question is very, very, very crucial, very important to the African community. As you can see, Mr. Mayor, people are saying that rent is so high. It's affecting our African community very much, and it's pushing many to leave the city. Is there anything that your administration is doing to address this situation?
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, they are right. The rent is extremely high. We know that, and that is why we spend so much time and energy in the entire program around fighting for new development. And when people heard the term City of Yes, a lot of people didn't know what it was about. But what City of Yes was about was building more housing all over the city. You now have our cities divided by community boards, 59 of them. Out of those 59 community boards, last year, 10 of them developed and created more affordable housing than the other 49 combined. And so when we did with City of Yes, we have put in place building a little bit more housing over the entire city. A small amount, not a lot to change the dynamic of a community. And that was crucial, with the City of Yes. And we want to continue to do that. We built in our administration more affordable housing in individual years than any administration in the history of the city. We moved more people out of homeless shelter into permanent housing in individual years in the history of the city. And our plan of housing is more than the previous administration and the previous two administrations, 12 years of Bloomberg, 8 years of Mayor de Blasio combined. More units of housing than both those administrations combined. And we put money into NYCHA. We made it part of our housing plan and came up with new ways of developing NYCHA through our land trust. And so we have been a pro-housing mayor administration where we want to keep down the cost of housing. And that's what we've done. And we know it's affordable. But anytime you have a low inventory and a high demand, it drives up costs.
So we're going to tell our community to just stick to New York, and you heard it best from the mayor. There's no need to go anywhere else. Just make sure you follow City Hall to know exactly the next step to be able to have affordable housing. So now, Mr. Mayor, after what happened in LA and many cities in America, is New York still considered as a sanctuary city for immigrants under your leadership?
Always will be. And many people Many people don't understand Sanctuary City is not a law. It is a concept that states when people are here, we don't control who's allowed to come into the country. We don't control that. But we do control delivery of services to those who are here. That means children have a right for education. People have a right to health care. Those who are the victims of crime have a right to go to the police without being turned over to ICE. So in this city, we have the full understanding that you have a right to care and a right to services, because when you walk into a store and you buy an item and you pay taxes, those tax dollars go to the delivery of services to you. And so we're not giving the immigrant or undocumented people anything. They're paying for it. And we're making sure we give them the services they pay for. And if we don't have a safe haven for children to go to school, then they could be the victims of sex trafficking and other dangerous entities. If people are afraid to go to the police, if they're a victim of a crime, they could be a victim of a more serious crimes. And so there is a reason our sanctuary city laws are in place, and we must make sure we fight for that.
We're going to continue fighting for that, but people are still, Mr. Mayor, scared. The fact that ICE is all over. We heard you saying many times that they are more focused on those that who are criminal. We understand that nobody need no criminal nowhere. So how are we going to work that out? The fact that ICE is all over, and is it focusing on only the criminal or just undocumented immigrant in general?
There's something that's very important to realize. Local cities don't control ICE enforcement. They have the federal law allows them to enforce whatever ICE rules they can enforce. We have no control over that. But what we do have control over is not to collaborate with them for civil enforcement. The law says in New York, we don't collaborate with ICE for civil enforcement, and we're not doing that, and we won't do that. But part of what we must do, those of us who are advocating on behalf of undocumented people, we need to turn down the temperature. ICE is not in our schools. They have not gone into our houses of worship. They have not gone into our churches, our mosques, our synagogues. And so we need to look at what we're dealing with without making it more explosive than what many advocates have done. We've created this feeling of anxiety, and if there's something that changes in their deployment strategies, then we need to adjust to that. But in the meantime, people can't live in fear. I know that's easier said than done, but we have to be encouraging people that they can't live in fear. They need to go on and live to produce for their families.
If re-elected, what are some of the concerns that would be at the top of your agenda?
Public safety is crucial. We have to keep public safety moving in the right direction. That's extremely crucial. The city must be safe, especially in places like the Bronx, where we're dealing with a real gang issue. We have been able to remove 21,000 illegal guns off our streets. And as you saw yesterday, even vehicle safety is important to us. We were able to move almost 80,000 illegal vehicles off our streets as well. And so crime is dropping. Lowest in the last 5 months. We have the lowest number of homicides and shootings in the recorded history of the city. So we're seeing a great deal of success in the city. We have to keep doing that. But also, we have to make the city affordable. And that means building more housing. That means continue to decrease the unemployment numbers. We dropped unemployment in the Black and brown community by 20%. And overall city of all demographics, unemployment has gone down. We must continue to attract businesses here, and we're going to continue to do that. So it's a combination of things, but I want us to be a safe city, and I want to make sure that we can make it an affordable city so that everyone can enjoy it.
before the last question, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
you had mentioned in the past the plan to travel back to Africa. Do you
Mm-hmm.
still have plan to do so? And if so, when?
Without a doubt, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to returning to the continent. I think it's so important. I want to do several cities, and I'm looking forward to trying to do it. I want to do it immediately after the election because I'm going to be very busy
Okay.
with the election, but immediately after election, I want to accomplish that feat.
Just so you know, Liberia is waiting for you. There's a lot of Liberians living in New York and Staten Island. They told me, make sure you tell the mayor not to forget Liberia if you happen to pass to Africa. So, Liberians are listening. They're listening to our show. They're right next to Staten Island. So I think they heard you very well. People are waiting. So what's the last word for today, Mr. Mayor, to our listeners, SunuAfrik Radio?
Listen, I'm American, but never forget I'm African. And the African diaspora produced a mayor in the city of New York, and we should all be proud of it. The most important city in the country belongs to the motherland.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
Always a
take
pleasure.
care.
My fellow New Yorkers, like so many of you, I grew up in a city that failed my family. My mother raised 6 children on her own, working 3 jobs. Yet, even when her hard work was met with injustice and indignity, she soldiered on. She believed in New York. She taught me that you can never do wrong by doing right. That resilient spirit is the essence of New York. And her example and the grit of everyday New Yorkers is what inspired me to public service and what gives me strength today. It's a simple truth. New Yorkers are strong and they deserve strong leadership. And when New Yorkers worry about their bills at the kitchen table or feel unsafe on a subway platform, they don't expect a political party to help. They want leadership from a person who understands their struggle and their story. There isn't a liberal or conservative way to fix New York, but there is a right way and a wrong way. And true leaders don't just know the right path, they have the guts to take it. I've always put New York's people before politics and party, and I always will. Some leaders choose rhetoric over results and fail to make working people their North Star. But the values of a working class base, pro public safety, pro worker, pro quality of life, are still there, standing strong, even if many who share them have left the party. Those are my values, New York's values, and I will always fight for them. I had hope to fight for them again in the Democratic primary for mayor. And more than 25,000 New Yorkers signed my Democratic primary petition. But the dismissal of the bogus case against me dragged on too long, making it impossible to mount a primary campaign while these false accusations were held over me. But I'm not a quitter. I'm a New Yorker. And that is why today, although I am still a Democrat, I am announcing that I will forego the Democratic primary for mayor and appeal directly to all New Yorkers as an independent candidate in the general election. I firmly believe that this city is better served by truly independent leadership, not leaders pulled at by the extremists on the far left or the far right, but instead those rooted in the common middle, the place where the vast majority of New Yorkers are firmly planted. I know that the accusations leveled against me may have shaken your confidence in me, and that you may rightly have questions about my conduct. And let me be clear, although the charges against me were false, I trusted people I should not have, and I regret that. But the issues I face are nothing compared to yours. Rising costs, public safety concerns, deep concerns about the future. All the candidates in this race will tell you that they have solutions to all that. You should hear them out. But you should also ask them where they were and what they did over the last 4 years to address those concerns before they were running for mayor. Some were advocating against more police, even if they are for them now. Some were fighting the pro-growth strategies of our administration. Some even sought to limit housing production. Some voted to give more of your tax dollars to other cities and towns in this state while refusing to change laws that let dangerous criminals run wild on our streets. And some sat at home and did absolutely nothing. I humbly put my record up against any of these other candidates. While they were playing politics or sitting on a couch, my administration was building record levels of housing, driving down crime, distributing $30 billion in benefits to low and middle income New Yorkers, and creating the most jobs ever in our city's history. As Mayor Lindsay said when he successfully ran as an independent candidate for mayor, I have made mistakes. And I am saying to you, my fellow New Yorkers, so did I. But it was not a mistake to invest more in housing than any other mayor. It wasn't a mistake to put a cop on every train. It wasn't a mistake to increase the value of housing vouchers and earned income tax credit to the highest levels ever. And it wasn't a mistake to put politics aside, defy my party when needed, and speak with the voice of working New Yorkers. Ultimately, it'll be up to you who runs this city for the next 4 years. As someone who has always fought for you and who is accountable to only you, I hope I can earn your vote. God bless you, New York, and God bless the great city that we live in. Thank you.